North headed back to North Shields for Slamfest 2, and it was a very interesting night. With the return of Medusa Complex challenging the landed gentry for the tag team titles, a #1 contendership match, and, well, a very different Leon Slater than we're used to. We have a lot to talk about. I'm Fraser Porter, and welcome to the North Rewind. In a first-time matchup, opening the show, it was Michael Oku facing a huge opponent in Rampage Brown. It was clear Oku knew this would be a hard match for him, not taking his eyes off his opponent as he entered the ring. Attempting to use his agility throughout the match and attempting an early half crab, Rampage always seemed to have a counter, using his strength throughout the match to take Oku down. After a huge Fosbury flop, Oku went to the top rope. Unfortunately missing the frog splash, Rampage hit Oku with a massive Doctor Bomb for the 3 count. Now, with Brown's tag partner Will Cruz challenging Leon Slater for the North Championship in the main event, and Brown unable to take his opportunity in August at All Caps All Day due to injury, it will be interesting to see if Brown has his eyes on that main event and the North Championship. In the second match of the evening, it was the debutant Judas Gray taking on the main event Empress Emerson Jane. Both from Scotland, these two have crossed paths before, but the last year has seen a spectacular rise for Emerson, and after being cheated out of a win for the North Ultraviolent Championship at the World at Large, Emerson is looking to build some singles momentum back up. Throughout the match, it was clear that these two competitors knew each other well. Judas stopping Emerson escaping the corner, giving her a thunderous kick to the back and following it up with a senton while Jane was hung through the ropes. This, of course, wasn't enough to keep the versatile Emerson Jane down though, who took Judas to the top rope for a Spanish fly and a quick pin for the 3 count. Red Scorpion was making his return to North Wrestling, but stood across from him was man like Doris, who looked to continue his momentum after beating Trent Seven at All Caps All Day. But before the match could start, the Red Scorpion decided to run down his opponent's musical performance and instead gave a singing performance of his own. Red Scorpion, though, used this as a bit of a ploy. He attacked Doris before the match could officially start, starting strong as things kicked off. Doris, fighting from underneath, continued to be cut off at every single chance to swing momentum. That was until a suplex attempt from Red Scorpion, which levelled the playing field as Doris was able to reverse. Doris lit up the chest of Red Scorpion with some thunderous chops as he begged for him to stop. Doris managed to grab Red Scorpion and lift him up to hit a pile driver to score the win. With both contenders expressing their desire to face the North Champion, Gene Money and Shreddy were set to face off for that coveted #1 contendership to face the winner of our main event, Leon Slater or Will Cruz, with that match taking place at NCL 50. Starting off the match with a handshake showing the respect between the pair. In fact, it might have been a bit too strong for Gene Money. The bell rings and Shreddy starts showing off with some of the big moves he learned in Big Japan, even going as far as ripping the nipple tape off Money. Shreddy looked dominant, but a telegraph powerbomb attempt was reversed by Money, who sized up the Shredliner with an Ainsley lariat. But Shreddy pulled referee jumping John Myers in the way and hit Gene with a low blow. However, that didn't ruin Money's night as he busted out some parkour and flipped over Shreddy to connect with the lariat finally, and this got him the win. Gene Money will challenge the winner of tonight's main event at NCL 50. After picking up a victory at Let the Cannons Fly against the Lycos Gym, Medusa Complex have returned to North for a shot at the gold, facing the tag team champions, the Landed Gentry. Medusa Complex seemed confident, starting the match with quick tags and a focus on the arm of Benji before using their speed to tandem super kick Zio in the face and followed that up with a huge double suplex on Benji. After a quick retreat to the outside, the Gentry turned the tides, isolating Mackenzie in the ring and hitting the wheelbarrow cutter, but only for the 2 count. Taking over for the team, Charlie heads to the ring, but Zio hits her with a formidable lariat somehow, again only for the 2 count. Commanding Benji to get the mallet, a miscommunication between the champs saw Zio taking a strike to the gut. Charlie looked to take advantage of a quick roll up on Benji, but again, only for the 2 count. In a shock move, Benji hit the distinct Rory Coyle-esque DDT on Charlie and achieved the 3 count. It was clear there was something going on between the champs, so I caught up with the Gentry after the match. Let's take a look. Joining me right now is the Landy Gentry. Now, of course, victorious tonight, but did I sense a little bit of dissension between the tag team champions?
No, of course not.
Whoa. What? Yes, there is a little bit of deception, a little bit of stuff between us. We had a plan, this is the plan, and you went off on the plan.
We don't have to do this anymore.
We do have to do this.
No, we don't.
We do. Ace isn't here tonight, he's watching these little deathmatch VHS, I don't know what he's doing. We had to use this, we were a man down. We nearly lost these titles because of you.
You know that we're the best wrestlers in North Wrestling, you know that.
Yes, I'm fully aware.
We don't need to cheat anymore.
So who are we proving this to by winning clean? Who? We have these titles, we don't need to prove anything to anybody, we keep them as long as possible. That has been the goal. This has been the plan. Don't. Johnny, start the car.
Lucia Lee looked to be on a mission in her North Wrestling debut as she had her sights set on Natalie Sykes. Since proclaiming that she is so back, she has been riding a wave of momentum, something that Lucia Lee took a problem with. So much of a problem that she jumped Nat before the bell could even ring. While Natalie targeted the arm of Lucia, every time she looked to bring the momentum back to her side, Lee was able to cut things off and shut it down. Reveling in the response from the crowd, Lucia Lee looked annoyed at Sykes as she pulled out all the stops but was unsuccessful in getting the win. Turning things around, Sykes delivered a couple of clotheslines and a cutter onto Lee to turn things back in her favour. She continued to target the arm and eventually managed to lock in her armbar, forcing Lee to tap out in her debut. It was set up last month that we would see Henry Faust and Kegstacker take on Miles, Cayman and Kemper. While Cayman and Kemper arrived to a hostile crowd, that swung completely the other way for local lads Kegstacker and Henry Faust. This match has been a long time coming and you could see that in just how locked in Faust was. Henry lays down the challenge. If his team wins, then it's Miles Cayman versus Henry Faust at NCL 50. And it looked like Miles was going to turn it down, but Kemper takes the mic and accepts it for him. A huge brawl from the team erupts on the outside, with Kegstacker being chokeslammed onto the apron by big man Kemper. Outmanned, Cayman and Kemper deliver a beatdown on Faust. Kemper was just toying with him and continued to attack him and get in the face of Keg. This small moment of taunting allowed Faust to get a small bit of momentum before Kemper cuts it off again. Every time Henry attempted to tag in Keg, Cayman or Kemper was there to ruin his night. Eventually, Henry managed to tag in Keg and the crowd could sense the momentum changing. Tagging Henry back into the match, they hit double team offense on Cayman, but Kemper breaks the pin and tags himself back into the match and squares up to Faust. Kemper looks to attack Faust in the corner, but Faust dodges out the way and rolls up the big man to score a pin. As soon as the bell rings, Kemper was back on the attack and brutally attacks Henry, with the help from Miles Cayman. The North Yellow shirts surrounded the ring as Kemper warned them off, allowing Cayman to hit a golden driver on Faust, followed by a huge chokeslam from Kemper. However, as a result of the match, we are guaranteed to see Henry Faust versus Miles Cayman at NCL 50. Before the main event and earlier in the evening, I wanted to check in with Leon Slater about his return to North and what it meant being back for him. Let's take a look at what went down.
As I'm looking around this building, I don't see no sellout. I see a room full of 220 scruffy, ugly, smelly, overweight, useless, Johnny idiots. To Bradford, you get me?
It was clear that this was not the same Leon Slater that we're used to seeing. Leon knows that the target is on his back and he is working hard to stay on top. But would he be able to do that against his next opponent, Will Cruz? The match started out slow, Leon telling the ref to back Cruz up so he could get out of the corner. The champ looked frustrated and took some time on the outside before heading back into the ring and slapping Cruz. Slater found out the error of his ways, with Cruz chopping at the chest of Slater, following it up by just throwing the TNA star across the ring. Following up on the outside, Cruz dropped Slater face first onto the canvas, and for extra effect, a huge boot to the face. Back in the ring, it looked like we were going to see a quick end to the match as Cruz slammed Slater to the mat while heading up to the top rope. Sliding to the other end of the ring though, clutching his knee, senior referee John Myers held off Cruz while the medics were called over. Deciding it was best to attend to him in the back, Yellow Shirts assisted Slater out of the ring while Cruz uncharacteristically called for the microphone. It was all a ploy though, as Slater was sliding back in the ring and taking advantage of his opponent from behind. With Cruz rolling to the outside, Slater hit the crossbody to the outside. The match went back and forth with both combatants doing their best to keep their opponent down, and it looked like Cruz was getting the better of the champ, slamming Slater to the mat before heading back up to the top rope for a big splash. Somehow, Leon pulled John Myers over him, taking the full force of Cruz to the back. Grabbing his championship belt, Slater collided it with the head of Cruz before laying the belt over Cruz's neck and hitting the Harlem sidekick. Calling the Hurt official over, the 3 count was called and Leon had cheated his way to victory. And that was Slamfest 2. You can watch the full show now via North's Patreon, YouTube Premium, as part of your Tiller Plus subscription, or check out your local listing for the Extreme Sports channel here in the UK. Next up is NCL 50, North's 50th show, where we will find out if Gene Money is the best in show when he faces Leon Slater for the North Wrestling Championship. Make sure to follow North on social media with the links down in the description below. Remember to hit subscribe and ding that bell so that you don't miss out on a single video here on YouTube. I'm Fraser Porter, and this was the North Wrestling Rewind, and I will see you next time.